Thank you, Madam Speaker. I'd also like to thank the Premier for updating the House and the people of Tasmania on this government's response to the coronavirus, which, as we know, Madam Deputy Speaker, is now a global pandemic, and it is on every continent. Madam Speaker, and it's been quite difficult since the first reports of the coronavirus came out of Wuhan and Hubei province in China to have a full understanding of what this viral pneumonia disease is, what its mortality rates are and its impact on people's lives. And for anyone who is interested in the life of Chinese people, which I very much am, some of the images that have been coming out of China, and particularly of Hubei province, are deeply confronting, Madam Speaker, because the response to the initial outbreak was for the government of China to basically close off Hubei province, and that was a province. And Wuhan is the capital on the Yangtze River, but that's a province that had about 55 million people living inside it. And for anyone in this House who wants to have some understanding of the impact of that on the people in Hubei province, I highly recommend watching Four Corners from this past Monday night, because it provided a really a moving and deep insight into the impact of this virus on the lives of everyday people in China, Madam Speaker, and the abject fear that people are experiencing, the lack of information, the lack of certainty over the data that was being provided by government. All of this has become part of daily life for people, not now just in Hubei province, obviously, Madam Speaker, but all across China. And as we know, Madam Speaker, now this virus has spread globally, and at its current rate of spread and infection, it's a virus that replicates about every 6 to 7 days, so it doubles in the number of infections about every 6 to 7 days. We are talking here about a highly infectious virus, and that makes the messages that are being promulgated by our health experts in the Premier's statement all the more important. The basic hygiene of disease prevention generally, Madam Speaker. It's very important at times like this that we don't collapse into hysteria. We don't buy all the hype, that we do be rational and seek to have the best available information, and the information that's coming out of health authorities in Australia about how to avoid infection are really, really important. I also want to thank deeply the frontline staff who are working in our health services, Madam Deputy Speaker, and in our hospitals, Madam Deputy Speaker. Some of the most amazing stories of courage that came out of Hubei were from the first responders in Wuhan's primary major hospital, and the speed of the response, the fact that doctors and nurses working at the front line in Wuhan, because there was a shortage of medical professionals, there's a shortage of diagnostic kits, there's a shortage of space to treat people, and many of those medical professionals were working around the clock without breaks, Madam Speaker. And of course, it is people in the medical profession at the front line of combating this pandemic who are in many ways the most at risk, Madam Speaker. So I'm enormously thankful for the dedication and the courage of our frontline staff here and wherever medical professionals are working in the world. I also want to acknowledge the impact of the travel ban on our trade-exposed industries. It's been a really hard 4 to 6 weeks for many of our exporters. and would reiterate the statement that I made previously about the importance of Tasmanians, however they can, supporting our exporters and our primary producers, and also our tourism sector, Madam Deputy Speaker, because there's no question that there's been an impact on the tourism sector here, although I don't know that it is as significant as it's been in some mainland markets, Madam Speaker. So I want to, on behalf of the Tasmanian Greens, wish my very best to the gentleman who's in the Launceston General Hospital and recovering from the virus, and commit us as members in this place to working constructively on our response to this issue and being responsible members of Parliament when we're talking about this now global pandemic.